Donald Trump is abandoning his new plane in Europe because he's worried Iran will kill him by shooting the new plane down that he got from the Qataris. Except at the last second, Trump did the old reverse switcheroo. Who hasn't switched between their 747s after avoiding certain airspace? Very relatable. And they did a little switcheroo in London. So let me sort of build it all up for you. Donald Trump unveiled, Qatar gave me a beautiful free plane, few $100 million in taxpayer money to retrofit it to be appropriate to be a presidential transport plane, but free plane, beautiful plane. The plane symbolizes strength and luxury and the greatness of America, even though Qatar gave us the plane. I don't know. And it has become one of the most kind of bizarre self-inflicted political headaches of Trump's presidency because Trump announced, I'm not going to fly home on this thing. Trump flew out to the NATO summit on the plane. But then he said, oh, I don't know about this. There are a lot of people who would like me dead in Iran. Now, officially, Donald Trump said, here's what I'm going to do. I know there are a lot of our troops in Europe who really want to see this plane. Are there? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are, maybe there aren't. But it's sort of strange to say, we're going to send my plane to Europe just so troops can look at it. And so the plan was the new plane is going to make a stop at military bases so soldiers can look at the plane. And I'm going to use the official previous blue 747 that is typically referred to as Air Force One to fly home. Now, the explanation sounded a little strange. And there is another part of the story, which is that a reporter asked Trump, does this decision on the plane have anything to do with threats from Iran? Because Trump mentioned a couple times during the NATO summit, you know, I've been lucky with the assassinations, but that only lasts so long. A lot of people want me dead. So here is Donald Trump answering that question.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force One?
I have a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go. Right?
But was there a specific
so perhaps someday you want to change professions.
So let's connect a few dots here. Just before this, these reports came out that the Secret Service was advising Trump, don't fly on the Qatari plane now because it doesn't yet have all of the defensive capabilities of the current Air Force One fleet. And the new plane lacks some of the sophisticated missile detection systems, some of the countermeasure systems that existing presidential planes have. And maybe the new Qatari plane is better for domestic travel. You don't necessarily want to fly out of the NATO summit from Turkey on that plane. And that really seemed to be billed as the reason. That really seemed to be the underlying reason that Donald Trump was saying, I'm not going to fly home on the new plane. He is going to go on his old plane, which is safer. Trump is worried. He's terrified Iran is going to try to knock his plane out of the sky. And ultimately, he ended up doing a switcheroo where in London, he got back on the original plane, the Qatari plane. And the video of this is truly bizarre because you see Donald Trump getting off of the blue 747 that we know of as the traditional Air Force One. Remember, Air Force One is any plane that Trump is flying on. But I think most people understand when I say Air Force One, I'm talking about one of the two blue 747s. And he comes down off of that plane. And then as we move the video forward, which I'm showing people, you see that then Donald Trump starts walking over to the Qatari 747. What a pathetic waste of resources and taxpayer money. You know, when Trump got this airplane, of course, he goes, it's free. It's such a beautiful gift. They're being really good to me. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. It's a phenomenal plane. And then people like me who were questioning accepting a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar were laughed off by MAGA. This is an incredible deal. This is saving taxpayers' money. And look at where we end up, where Trump flies overseas on his new plane. And then because of fears of getting shot down and shot dead, he transfers to another plane to come home. But all of these planes were flown out and they're being flown back. We're just wasting twice the jet fuel and resources. It's crazy. And Trump is talking about, oh, I'm Iran's #1 target and everything's totally normal, but like I'm going to switch planes now multiple times because of the threats against me. This is exactly why so many people warned against taking a donated plane from Qatar and making it the presidential transport. Now, I'm sure they're going to say, once we install all of the stuff on it, it's going to be just as safe and it's going to be perfect. But all of that stuff is going to be installed using my taxpayer money and your taxpayer money. Air Force One should never be the story. It's supposed to be transportation. But we have a president who's accepting planes from foreign countries, spending weeks promoting airplanes, staging unveilings, endlessly talking about how beautiful this is. The plane is supposed to safely transport the president so that he can go and conduct the tasks of being president. And of course, Trump can't even do that. He took the new Qatari plane to the NATO summit, fell asleep multiple times, referred to President Zelensky as President Putin, said that the Islamic Republic of Japan sent 111 missiles at an aircraft carrier of ours, referred to the Obama JCPOA as the Obama JCPOC. So not only was the transportation ridiculous, what he did when there was also completely ridiculous. At the end of the day, this never should have happened. We all knew it never should have happened. Trump should say, I love the generosity, but we have perfect planes. We're working with Boeing to develop a new Air Force One, if they still are. That may have been abandoned. I'm not even sure. But we're going to stick to the planes that have not been in the hands of potentially adversarial foreign nations for years. We'll stick with our planes. Now, there's one other thing that is catching my attention here, which is that over the last 24 hours, multiple times Trump returned to this idea that he might be assassinated. Iran wants to do it. Multiple times he said, I'm Iran's number one target. I've gotten lucky with assassination a bunch of times, but that doesn't ever last forever, and I may be gone too. Threats against presidents are taken very seriously, and they should be. Every president receives threats. Security planning is a major part of the job. They brought personal toilets to collect Trump's feces on the trip for fear that his biological waste could be used to figure out stuff about Trump's health and what medications is he on and all this other stuff. They're taking every single kind of precaution. But when the president is regularly raising the possibility of his own assassination while changing around travel plans involving a highly publicized new aircraft from a foreign nation, this is absolutely insane. And so accepting this plane, which was, I guess, supposed to project strength or servitude to Trump, it's become a source of confusion. And instead of proving Trump's deal-making bona fides, it just shows that Donald Trump doesn't seem to understand that everybody has figured out how to placate and manipulate Trump, and it's another distraction completely of his own making. If he had just continued flying on the existing planes until the next generation plane was ready, none of this would be happening. And now it's the story, and Trump ends up looking like the clueless guy that's easy to manipulate. Insanely stupid and painfully wasteful.
There are a lot of VPN companies out there, and almost all of them make the exact same promise. Trust us, your data's safe. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, you don't have to take their word for it because they've proven multiple times in court when authorities have asked for user logs, they don't have them. They don't have anything to hand over. Their software is open source. You do not have to trust anybody. You can verify for yourself. They have a no log policy, which really matters because the whole point of a VPN is to protect your privacy. Private internet access hides your IP address, encrypts your connection, helps to protect your data when you're at home, on public Wi-Fi, traveling, and it also lets you access content that might not be available in your region. Just a single private internet access account you can use on unlimited devices with servers in 91 countries and all 50 states, optimized for fast streaming and downloads so you are not sacrificing performance for security or privacy. It's one of those things you turn on once and just forget about it. Get an exclusive 83% off. That is just $203 a month plus 4 months free at piavpn.com/Pakman. The link is in the description.